Hi, I'm Marky.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is the Happy Everly After podcast. Hello.
What's up?
And welcome to the Happy Everly After podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about life, and we've been through a lot. We lost our daughter Everly, and that was a couple years ago, and we're finding peace and joy and love and light and happiness while also grieving her, and that's okay. We feel all of the feelings at the same time.
For sure. Maybe not all at the same time, but different feelings at different times.
I feel a lot of feelings at the same time, for sure.
Is it possible to feel more feelings, all the feelings at one time?
No, that's like a Jesus question.
Is it possible to think multiple thoughts at the same time?
Oh, for sure.
No.
Do you have hiccups?
You can only think one thought at a time.
Remember that study that came out about people who don't have an inner thought? They don't have like an inner voice.
Man, that'd be
That
great.
it trips me out. Like, you don't hear your voice in your head. There are some people that don't hear their voice in their head.
That'd be great for me because it's nonstop all day.
Same. My voice in your head.
All voices. I hear multiple voices in my head.
What did the voices tell you?
You don't want to know.
I do want to know. That's funny.
That's for me to know and you to
not know.
Find out.
You're just like so sweet. I can imagine your inner thoughts being like, yeah, punk, like I'm gonna, like a bunch of F words. Like, I can like picture your inner voice being like such a dick because you're such a nice person. Like me, like my inner voice is like a brat. Like my initial thoughts can like be bratty, but then I filter that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm a nice person in my brain too. I'm just saying, like, your inner voice, like I picture your inner voice being like more of a dick because you're just such a nice person.
I don't know. I don't monitor my inner thoughts that closely, I guess.
You should.
Sure.
Maybe you should.
Okay.
Let's dissect
Go to therapy for that one.
Therapy's great, though.
Yeah,
you should go to therapy.
I'm all about it.
Yeah. We've done it.
I don't think anyone should not do it.
We like literally talk about how therapy can be like a tune-up for your marriage and your relationship. Like, we're totally on board for that. Van, we haven't talked about this on the podcast, but Van fell out of a second-story window last year, and it like affected me. And I won't go into it, but like it affected me. Like, it was a really, really big deal. He was fine.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. He was okay. He broke his foot. Out of all of the things that he could break, he broke his foot. And like, I'm so grateful for that. And I could get emotional talking about that, but I won't. I'm going to compartmentalize, stick that in a box. We'll talk about that later.
It
was really hard,
therapy.
But therapy was great. I immediately got on like BetterHelp, and I found a therapist, and she's great, and I love her. She helped me through a lot.
I've recommended some of my sales guys to do BetterHelp.
You have?
Yeah.
What issues do they have?
Sales? Are you serious? You've done sales jobs. What do you mean?
Sales jobs. I don't
like
get
sales
it,
jobs are stressful.
Okay.
Stressful and depressing. Like, if you're not getting sales, and like,
okay,
if you're in a slump and you're like questioning all your life decisions, and like, anyone who's done sales like knows.
And they're like, I can't afford it. Andrew Wassler, will you pay for therapy for me? And you're like, okay.
I'm pretty sure BetterHelp does like insurance, but maybe not. I don't know. Our insurance sucks either way, so
That's funny. We are huge fans of therapy. It's seriously great. If you have
My
a car that needs a tune-up, do you need like a donut pillow?
My butt is not doing the ground today.
You okay?
I'm good.
Okay. If you need to take a break, honey, let us know. We'll get you a pillow. I have that Dallas Cowboys neck pillow in the truck.
Perfect place for it, underneath my freaking butt.
I set that up for you. You're welcome. That was funny for you, but like I set that up for you.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. Accidentally set it up.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, I'm like so excited for this topic. This topic came from one of Drew's what do you call him?
What?
He's not an employee. Pierce thought of this.
I don't know.
He's not an employee. Drew was kind of just training him and like teaching him the door-to-door sales thing.
He's my apprentice.
Yes, love that. And he's like the cutest kid. He like says things and I'm like, oh my gosh, you were born in like 2011? Like,
no.
What?
Not that late.
What year was he born?
Early 2000s probably. I don't know.
Anyways, he's so cute, but like I'm like, geez, like I'm the old one. I used to be the young one because I was born in 1990 and everybody was like, 90? You were born in the 90s? 1990? And now I'm like, 2000? You were born in 2000?
All the people that were saying that to you are
old
on their deathbed.
For sure. Anyways, it's just weird. But he gave us this idea. I was like, bro, we need to record a new podcast. What topic should we talk about? And he was like, you should talk about conspiracy theories.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
There's a few that I hope are true.
Well, I have a list of like a couple. I have a couple of them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring them up and we're going to discuss them.
This is the first time I've heard.
For sure. Like Drew doesn't know this list. I just barely was making this list while like he was getting the boys ready for bed.
I mean, I'm all for conspiracy theories. I would love for a lot of them to be true, honestly.
Unless they're terrible.
Like what?
You'll see. Some of them are terrible.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, we're going to talk about conspiracy theories, what we believe and what we don't believe.
Put your tinfoil hats on.
That would be so funny if we just made tinfoil hats. I don't think we have tinfoil.
We definitely don't.
Summer Cells Life.
You don't cook enough for tinfoil.
Don't have tinfoil. Okay. Don't look.
I'm not. I don't even have my glasses on.
So this
or my
first
contacts.
one,
I wouldn't be able to read it if I wanted to.
What are your thoughts on health authorities hiding cures?
Like pharmaceutical companies?
No, the opposite. So like, I mean, yeah. So like,
they're all in cahoots with each other. I don't even think that's a conspiracy theory. I feel like everyone kind of knows that right now.
What if somebody said, I have a cure for cancer, and they present that information, but the pharmaceutical companies don't accept it?
I 100% think that is true. I think that's true. I think there's a lot of cures to things that wouldn't make people money that get shut down.
For sure. Like, and a lot of them are natural. Like, I sound like a granola, but like a lot of them are natural, but they're like debunked because pharmaceutical
look
companies,
at all the money they're making.
They're making so
Look at all
much
the money they're making.
Yeah.
I've listened to a ton of podcasts from like pretty credible people just talking about pharmaceutical companies and the FDA and like
the
how
FDA
everyone's
is garbage.
Everyone's in cahoots with each other and like it's
Yeah.
I think it's for sure.
Well, what about
sure.
like people who are like getting
Look at all the COVID
killed.
stuff. Like,
Yeah, that's on
that's
here.
a
That's on
buzz.
my
That's a
list.
buzz word or whatever, a trigger word for people these days. But like, look at all the crap that's going on with that.
Yeah,
Vaccines and like
totally.
all that kind of stuff.
And just like pumping out man-made drugs
It's
and
all
making
about
so
money.
much money.
People are trying to make money.
Like,
That's
I
it.
don't even need
Power money.
I don't even need all the money. Like, just like, I don't understand like the pride and the greed. I guess that's the thing. Like, I'm not a greedy person. Like, I like money. I like to be comfortable. Don't get me wrong. But like, I'm not a greedy person. Like, I don't need more than I need.
Yeah. But you've never been in a position of power like that before either.
Nor do I want to be.
Yeah,
Some
but
people
you can't
want to be.
you can't say what they're thinking and wanting. You're not in their shoes.
It's like, what do they want?
Power.
Like a beach house, a yacht? Like, I don't
No.
get it. Like, I don't understand that mentality. Like, I don't get it. I think it all relates back to little man syndrome. I mean, I said it.
There's probably some
I'm sticking
women
to
in there.
it. Anyways,
There's probably some women in those positions.
not enough. There needs to be more women in position of power. I think the world would be a much better place.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyone can get corrupted by money, though.
Next one.
Sure.
The earth is flat.
I mean, if you hear the arguments from the flat earthers, it's like, yeah, sure, maybe I could see where you're coming from, but like, obviously, not flat.
Because you watched like a documentary or something on that, right?
No, just Google rabbit hole.
You Googled, is the earth
A
flat?
Google rabbit hole.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go down a rabbit hole on anything on Google.
For sure. Well, my thing
Whether
is
it's true
TikTok.
or not is another
I can
thing.
like look up like TikTok, how to tone my hair at home, and then before you know it, I'm on Amazon looking for
if
hair
anyone's
toners.
still using TikTok,
Oh my gosh, we're not gonna go into
y'all
TikTok.
should read the terms and conditions of TikTok
Okay,
ASAP and delete that crap from your phone.
We're
As
not
soon as
going into
possible.
that. That's not what this episode
That
is
should
about.
be another conspiracy theory on
The
here.
next
Look
one-
at TikTok.
The next one I think you're gonna have a
Sheesh.
lot to say about. Ready?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
No.
What's something that you like love? I put it on your Crocs this year for Christmas.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I think Bigfoot. I hope that Bigfoot is real.
Why do you hope?
That'd be so cool if it was real. And not just like a Bigfoot. I think that it's a species.
There's only one? Oh. Okay, I get it.
Where it's like a species of Bigfoot, Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And I hope so bad that it's real, because that would be so cool.
I
and
just
it's
like
like the
wonder what the
unknown.
origins are of that. Like, God made two of them, you know, and they multiplied and replenished.
It's like any other animal.
Yeah, it's just
on the earth.
interesting.
It's like
But they're
maybe
like
they're just more
smart enough to like
intelligent.
hide behind the tree.
Maybe.
No, you can't see me.
I mean, I'm starting to hear some crazy things about UFOs and aliens that
Oh, for sure.
are making me think that those are real.
We cannot.
So why would Sasquatch not be real?
We cannot be so self-absorbed to think that the universe is as big as it is and feel like we're the only ones.
I
There's
mean,
no way.
they're discovering new things in the ocean like every day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like,
we're
look
going to
at
talk about that.
there could be things in the mountains and in the wilderness where people don't go often, where maybe Sasquatch is
I picture
thriving.
like a hatch door. And
We don't know.
You go down these like muddy stairs, and it's like hairy people.
Of all the things I hope is
just
true,
living their best life. They're chill. They're fine.
I hope so bad that is real. There was a Netflix documentary.
What's it called?
Years ago. I don't remember what it's called, and I don't even know if it's on Netflix anymore, but it was this guy that was like in Canada somewhere, like British Columbia, and he was like going out in the wilderness like by himself and with people, and he claims that he like got footage of Sasquatch.
They all do.
It's I don't know, like I just hope I hope it's true, because that would be so cool.
Would be so cool. Proof. What's hard is that like nowadays with technology, like you can't believe anything like Photoshop. So even if it was true, there'd still be like naysayers. It's just hard. Just hard nowadays, you know?
It'd be so awesome if that was real.
It's a hard knock life.
I would love to go on like a Sasquatch like safari.
Honey, I'm gonna like do that for you for your 40th birthday or
something. That'd be so much fun. That'd be so cool.
No, but like going back to the whole Christmas Crocs thing, like he was so into that documentary and so into like Bigfoot and believing it, and I kind of poked fun of him for it, but like I believe in it too. Like I don't think it's so far-fetched, to be completely honest.
What if it's
but for Christmas I got us all matching Crocs, but like for me I put like little jewels like on my Crocs. For the boys I put like footballs and soccer balls. For Drew I put a Bigfoot.
What if it's
giblet.
Just like a species, but it's like an endangered species, and there's only like 2,000 of them over the entire world, and they're in very remote areas where we don't go.
Can they communicate with each other?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're like making crazy sounds that only they understand.
If they're avoiding us, maybe they're
obviously
more intelligent than us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see them like having amazing tech. I don't know. I know nothing, so like I can't even speak to that.
Just saying. I hope it's true.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Respect. So the next one is: have you ever heard of chemtrails?
No.
So this was something that was popular in like the 80s and 90s apparently, where you know how airplanes, they'll like fly above us?
Yeah. And they leave a trail behind them?
Yeah. Some airplanes leave a trail behind them and some airplanes don't.
Yeah.
And the conspiracy theory behind it is that the government or whoever is literally putting things in our air.
To breathe, to
what
like brainwash us. I mean, it is sus.
It is sus. I guess
Very
there was
sus.
an article like it was probably like 8 or 10 years ago. I didn't do a whole lot of research on this, to be completely honest, but they did an article and like Harvard like debunked the idea that airplanes could produce that fog. Like airplanes don't produce that fog. It's not a thing.
I mean, it is weird that some do and some don't.
Yeah, because back home in Utah where we live right in line with the airport. Mm-hmm. And so we have airplanes over us all day long. Oh, remember when Van was a baby and was like, whoa, like would always look at the airplanes?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so some of them leave those lines and some don't. And it's like, what is that?
It's very interesting.
It is. Yeah, it's something to think about.
If you know what it is, let us know.
Yeah. Okay, what about the moon landing hoax? Do you think that people have actually walked on the moon?
If we've been, why are we not going back? is my question.
I think that, like, yeah,
I mean,
I think
technology, like Elon, I know Elon's trying to go to Mars. So, like, I'm confident people have been to the moon. I'm confident of that. But, like, why are we not going back? Like, why do you not hear of people going back to the moon?
It's just, that's another one of those rabbit hole things where it's like you literally see, like, you can look up on YouTube, like, people who are like astronauts who are like giving interviews, but like in the background, like something falls off the wall and it, like, gravity, it like drops down to the ground. And it's like they're literally in a studio, things like that.
This is my question. With the moon landing, who, Armstrong, was the first man to set foot on the moon? How did the camera get outside to record it?
I don't think that, I just picture that being like a machine or something. I don't know. I don't picture that being like a cameraman.
Where did the machine come from?
I don't know. But it's interesting because there's an interview with Buzz Armstrong who literally says, they're like, what was the scariest part about going to the moon? And he literally was like, it would be scary if it actually happened, but it didn't happen. He like literally said that in an interview.
Where'd the camera come from? It's like, oh yeah, these people are coming out of the spacecraft. One small step for man.
And if you guys go on TikTok, no, don't go on TikTok. Blah, blah, blah. If you go on TikTok and type in, I don't remember, but remember that aircraft that like took off and it blew up before it got out to space, and there was like a teacher on it and stuff.
I remember that in junior high school.
Do you? Yeah. I don't remember the original.
I do.
Wow, it was like a big deal. I don't remember it.
In junior high, yeah.
But apparently, like people have found each one of those astronauts, and they're all living like different lives. Like one of them is in Minnesota, that's an engineer for like a bridge company, and one of them is in.
Listen, if anyone trusts the United States of America government, y'all need to freaking, like, they can't, like, they're hiding stuff from us. Are you serious?
I saw this person
comment. Are you serious?
There was a person who commented on something and they were like, yeah, you can't trust the government in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, but you can totally trust them now. Like
never trust the government. Yeah. Never trust the government.
Because there's always things that comes out and it was like, oh, they were keeping that a secret or whatever.
We're just freaking pawns in their game. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's why you just got to do what makes you happy every day. Like, I know that's really big picture and it's a lot to think about, but like, that's why you got to do things that just make you happy every single day, because you don't have control over all the things.
Not to get on a tangent, but like, how do we send like $500 billion to Ukraine, but we can't fix school shootings in the United States of America or homelessness? Like, how are there homeless people all over the streets in the United States?
Toothless, not homeless.
But we send $500 billion to Ukraine. It's like,
I know.
Like, you guys are, like, anyone listening from the United States government, like,
but what's the goal?
You're a piece of shit, and like do something for the American people.
Right. But what's the goal of that?
I don't know.
Like, what do they get out of that?
More
power and
money?
They're
in bed with other countries. I don't know.
Yeah, that's hard.
I compare it to like the TV series House of Cards. If anyone's watched that, I'm like, dang, like freaking crazy crap is happening, and like people don't care about the general public. They're like doing whatever is going to benefit them in the long run.
That's crazy.
Personal opinion.
Okay, the next one, and I just love her so much. The Princess Diana murder.
Don't know much about it.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so Princess Diana was the Princess of Wales, and she married Prince Charles, and she was in line for the throne, all the things, okay? They didn't have a happy life. They didn't have a happy marriage. He was always with his mistress. She was always a little rebellious. And I say rebellious in like the kindest, nicest way. I relate to her so much because she just was such a real person. And she just like did what was authentic to herself instead of conforming to the crown, okay? So she wanted a divorce that wasn't kosher with the crown. After an event one night, she gets in her car. Her chauffeur is trying to escape paparazzi. They're driving, they're speeding, and they run right into something and she dies. So the conspiracy is that she was murdered.
Faked her death?
No, she was murdered by the crown, by the administration that wanted to keep not only like the marriage, the sanctity of marriage, okay, but like she was, all that. So,
I mean, look at like, I think it was like King Henry, like back in the day, like he's the one that like invented divorce, from what I know, because
really?
Yeah, I don't know, because like the Catholic Church wasn't cool with divorce, but like he kept wanting to like get remarried, so he was like killing his wives. I don't know. Someone fact check me. Someone fact check me on that.
Like, stop murdering your spouses.
I just know like
them. That's my thing. Every single time I freaking watch Dateline, I'm like, just leave. Like, why do you have to murder your spouse? Like, I don't get it.
Some people are psychos.
Yeah. Anyways,
or
I think
jealous. I don't know.
I have like so much respect for Princess Diana. I just like feel like she was so ahead of her time, and I know that might even sound like mainstream or like so, but I really do. Like, I respect her as a person so much from what I've learned about her, and my heart just goes out to her and her boys, and just like,
maybe she's still alive somewhere.
Oh, I've heard that conspiracy too.
Maybe she faked her death so she could get away.
But I don't think she did, because she has 2 sons that have had to live without her.
Yeah. I don't know much about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And if there's a correction corner on any of that, then please let us know, because we
fact check for sure. We're not to the point where we can hire a fact checker.
Yeah, that'd be great. We have our cute producer, Rachel, who's so awesome, but we don't pay her for that. Okay, so the next one is Tupac.
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely honest. And I say this, like, people say this as a joke. I will tell you that I don't know if he's alive today, right this second, but I don't believe he died in the way the world believes he died.
Tupac.
Yes.
Yeah. What about Biggie Smalls then?
I don't know. I don't know enough about that
didn't
one.
Tupac die first? And then Biggie Smalls?
Mm-hmm.
And they had beef with each other.
I don't think that Tupac's murder, allegedly, had anything to do with Biggie. I think that Biggie's people, maybe, but they were actually way cool with each other. It was their people.
I mean, they had beef for sure.
No, their beef was like in the music. Like, their beef like gave them music and ammunition to like make art.
But they were cool, and then they had beef. Like, they were cool with each other, then they had beef with each other. They still had
respect for each other. They were East Coast, West Coast. They would not murder each other.
I don't know. You're not in that life.
The way that I see it is that Tupac he had been in a shooting a couple years prior, and he, like, there's pictures of him like in a wheelchair, And then a couple years later, he started getting like hits on him again. And he was like, well, crap, they're going to kill me this time. These threats are real. And so I believe.
But didn't he die in a car accident?
Tupac?
Yeah.
He was in a car when they shot him.
Mm.
And he was with Suge Knight, the owner of Def Jam Records. And, okay, you guys, this is true.
Wow.
Okay, so I went to high school with somebody.
Okay, someone definitely fact check this story that's about to drop.
It's just interesting.
But you just said this is true.
I know. So like it's like second party true.
Okay.
So I went to high school with this kid who dated a girl. I was born and raised in southern Utah, a couple hours away from Las Vegas, where Tupac was murdered.
Not to interrupt the story, but why does it always have to be this kid is a boy? Because immediately when you said this kid, I was like, okay, it's a boy.
Gender roles. It's just what our brains do.
It's like,
because we were trained to
I went to school with this kid. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay,
if
she's talking about a boy.
It'd be weird. I went to school with this boy. Yeah, cool. Gender roles. So I went to school with this kid, and he dated a girl that lived in Las Vegas.
Okay, so now we're playing the telephone game.
That was like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where I grew up in St. George. And this girl, her dad... Why are you laughing?
Because the further the story goes, the less relevant
this from this
the
kid.
Information gets.
So he like knew her family really well.
Yeah,
and
sure.
They were wealthy.
Sure.
They had so much money.
Yeah, sure.
Mansion, pool in their backyard, trips all the time. She had everything she could ever want. This girl.
Urban has everything he could want.
High vibes.
Cool.
So, anyways, turns out her dad is a retired police chief of Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. Honey, you're laughing, but like this is when I became like, when I heard this, I was like, oh my gosh, like this could be real. And point of the story is there's like so much more that goes into that, but like he's a retired police chief. He was still young. He didn't even need to be retired. He had millions and millions of dollars. Owned this huge house. They all drove these amazing, beautiful cars. And had everything they could ever want.
This is coming from a teenage boy.
Anyways,
secondhand from a teenage boy.
It was alleged that
millionaires.
He was one of the police officers that was there the night of the murder. Okay. He was there. That's all. You can fill in the blanks from there. I believe that he helped Tupac escape.
What did he say? That's the point of the story. What did he say?
I don't know him. I don't know what No, that's another thing is they won't talk about it.
Yeah.
So like even the kid I went to high school with, like he was like, well, they won't tell me anything about it. It's like hush hush. But like I know that they all drive amazing cars and they have this huge ass house and they're blah 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 blah. And like he's a retired cop. Like what else? Why do you have all this money? So point of the story is that kind of like got me on this like kick, and I'm like, and I've always been a Tupac fan, and so I'm like, could he freaking be alive? And I'm telling you, go on TikTok and look up Tupac, and there are, I believe,
crazier things
again, I don't know if he's alive today, but I don't believe he was murdered that night that the world thinks he was murdered in Las Vegas outside of the MGM casino. Also,
I hope that's true for you.
Like, even his brother has said, we knew we were living in a legendary time, but I can't speak to, like, him not being a legend because he's still alive. Like, his brother literally said that in an interview.
The one thing with Tupac is, and it's the same with, like, Michael Jackson and, like, Juice WRLD, it's like they keep coming out, like,
he has like 13 albums.
Kept coming out.
Yes.
Like, after they died, and, like, how do you keep getting like music that gets released? 13
albums since he's died.
That's so weird.
It's crazy.
Which, I mean, I guess if they were just in the studio recording all the time, then, like, maybe they just kind of release it after the fact.
Some reports say that he died on the scene, but then there's another interview of Suge Knight, who was with him when he was murdered, literally saying that he, like, said, "Love you, bro," before he went in for surgery. Like, there's literally interviews that if you compile all the interviews, it's like, it didn't happen the way the world wants it to happen, says it happened. So okay. I believe that. And then there's, like, this new rapper that's like, I'm Tupac. Like, look, we have the same teeth. You don't look anything like him, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't believe that for 2 seconds. I believe, and another thing is his mom said that he stepped away. His mom didn't say that he died. His mom said that he stepped away. And I think that that's because he had millions of dollars and he took matters into his own hands when he got those threats. And he is still making music.
In Puerto Rico?
No, Cuba.
But, okay. Why would you go to Cuba? Cuba is like, people are literally like jumping on ships to get out of Cuba. I mean, Cuba is like one of the worst places to live.
He can live like a freaking king.
No, Cuba is not. Cuba is not a good place to live. Cuba is like communist.
Yeah,
like,
but we're not in his life. We don't know what connections he has to Cuba.
That's true, but I wouldn't live in Cuba. I would not live in Cuba. Anyways, I hope that's true for you.
For him.
I don't really care that much. Like, he has some good songs. He has a couple good songs that I like, but, you know, it's whatever. If you're happy. He's got some good songs.
But we wish him the best.
Sure. Yeah. I wish
it's not about me.
Him the best. I hope that it's true for you because you believe it so much.
I mean, I do. I love him, and I think that would be so freaking cool. And, can you imagine?
Imagine what?
Showed up on the scene. There's video of him and Suge Knight together from literally like 5 years ago. But also, like, remember at the beginning of this episode when I was like, technology, you can't trust anything. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's talk about Justin and Hailey Bieber.
I don't know anything about that.
So the conspiracy theory is that Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez,
who are these people?
Broke up. Roy, you don't know who they are. They broke up, which is true. They broke up.
Okay.
But then Justin Bieber immediately, like just a couple months later, was engaged and married Hailey Baldwin.
Okay, maybe he love at first sight.
So I'm just telling you the conspiracy, not whether I believe it or not.
Maybe
so the conspiracy is that he needed a green card and he got married. He's Canadian, but he makes so much money in the U.S. and wanted to still live here and work here. And he was living in L.A. at the time.
But he's
And so he married Hailey Baldwin. And as soon as they hit their 5-year, which is soon, that's like the statute of limitations or whatever of like marriage.
Yeah, sure. I don't know anything about that. He's going to
divorce her. But it's very interesting. There's a lot. Like, there's a Oh, man, you go on TikTok and search
Well, why did
this.
Selena not marry him then?
I think that she had a lot of stuff going on at the time, too. Respect. Maybe she wasn't ready to get married at freaking 22 years old or
And
whatever.
she
I
is
don't know how
now?
old she is.
She is now? You think?
I mean, maybe. Like, she got her kidneys out and stuff, or her liver.
She got her kidneys out?
Yeah, like, her assistant gave
You
her
still
a
need
kidney.
a kidney.
Yeah, her assistant gave her a... I don't know if that's the right organ, to be completely honest. But she has an autoimmune disease or something. And
We
her...
definitely need a fact checker for
her
this episode.
like assistant or friend like gave her one. She literally says
Interesting.
that's the reason why she's alive. It's a really cool story if I knew more about it.
I mean, it's Justin Bieber. Like, you can make music
He could get
wherever.
anyone he wanted and marry anyone he wanted.
Like, he could move back to Canada and still make music.
So he was like in trouble with the law. So
I don't know much about it.
There
but,
were like people
I mean, I
like
guess
ready to get him. And like this is Justin Bieber, so like we're gonna make him an example.
I guess
You
if
can
they get
see how it could
divorced,
happen.
then we'll find out pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last one. Ready? Unless there's any that you can think of.
I mean, I'm listening to a Joe Rogan episode right now talking about UFOs, and I really hope that those stories are true. Like, really hope that they're true.
You know they're true.
I hope so
We are
much that they're
not
true.
so self-centered to think that we are the only beings.
I
out
hope
of
that they're true.
this big
It's
old universe.
crazy. He has, there's an episode I'm listening to right now that he has a guest on that I'm like, that would be so crazy if this all this stuff was true.
There's a conspiracy theory out there that the world is going to end in the next couple of years, or like next couple thousand of years, and it's like literally the North Pole and South Pole like swap, and they say that it's called the Adam and Eve theory, where like Adam and Eve, it literally starts over every forever long. But literally civilization starts over because it happens every single
There's
time.
some cool. I just watched.
That's why Atlantis
really
is
cool,
under the ocean.
Well, you should know. There's a cool Netflix documentary that I watched not long ago called Ancient Apocalypse.
Oh, I'm on like episode 3.
Of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
But Atlantis is not under the water, according to that.
Really? I'm not that far.
Yeah. Anyways, I love like ancient history, like very intriguing to me. Like I would love to go back to like the times of like Atlantis or like ancient Egypt, like when they're building the pyramids. Like I would love to see what was going on in that time of the world. I'd love it.
I kind of like where I'm at.
I would love to just see. I would just love to see. Because if all that's true, like they were far more advanced than we are now. Like in a different way, they were far more advanced. But anyways, if you're interested, like go check out that.
What's it called?
It's called Ancient Apocalypse.
On Netflix.
On Netflix. It's like a 7-part, 8-part series,
and it's about
docuseries.
a guy who like...
Graham Harold is his name.
Oh, you know his name.
Oh yeah,
Good job.
absolutely.
He
Like thinks that there's like
he has these theories and he like does research on them, but like science and like archaeologists
that like
are
human
like,
civilization
no, that's
human
not right.
civilization existed long before people think it did.
Yeah.
And that there was like an ice age or like a big natural disaster that like kind of reset
Like the one I was
civilization.
just talking about with the North and South Pole.
Yeah,
Swap.
kind of like that. Yeah.
Yikes.
And that we're kind of like, like we're kind of due for something like that to happen.
But that's the thing, like maybe I'm just like I'm not scared to die really, but it's like if the world is ending and there's going to be a giant crater down the road and you're scared and it's going to hurt and whatever.
I mean,
but like
we're
die all
instantly.
Gone. Yeah, like you're gone. Like
it's not going to hurt.
You don't have to be scared. What you should be scared of is freaking
the government
and like gun violence and all the freaking bullshit we're dealing with right now. Like, be scared now. Don't be scared of the end. Like the end, I'm like, please, Heavenly Father, come freaking save this.
Okay,
save us.
Put your tinfoil hats on for this episode.
The last one is interesting. I just barely heard about this. China recently discovers new islands, and one of them has two species of dinosaurs on it.
Like live? Like alive dinosaurs?
Alive.
That is news to me.
Is that crazy?
I mean, with the phones we have these days, like, I would hope there's some footage.
I heard that it's like a team of people who are like on this island, and I don't know, that's what they found. But it's interesting because it's like, I know, that's the thing is, China recently found 7,000 new islands.
7,000?
Yes.
I mean, 7,000. This Earth is pretty well mapped out by this point.
I know, but then it goes back to like, do we trust who's like making these maps? Like, how far away are we from anything? We wouldn't know.
I don't know. I mean, I would hope that something like that would be documented. Like, we have, like, there's cameras everywhere these days. Like, everyone has it in your pocket. There's a camera.
They said absolutely there are still dinosaurs 1,000%, but they're in the ocean, and it's because we haven't discovered all the ocean yet.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, you see like things on social media.
Everything
at times
on social
where
media
it's
is
like,
real.
Oh, they discovered a new kind of, deep sea fish or whatever. But like a dinosaur, I feel like that would be more of a...
Two new kinds.
That would be kind of more of a big deal that would leak, maybe. But I'm also listening to these alien stories, and that hasn't leaked yet either. But I think that it's kind of like on the verge of leaking. I don't know. I hope it's true. That'd be crazy. I hope Sasquatch is true. I hope aliens are true. Dinosaurs would be neat.
This was a fun episode.
I mean, what are other people's favorite conspiracy theories? Like, I'd love to hear what people think. Like, what are other people thinking hope that is true,
Sorry, I'm just looking up more evidence on the new dinosaurs in China.
If it doesn't immediately pop up, that's kind of, I don't know.
There's your sign.
That's kind of strange. Like 7,000 islands? Like, that's a lot of islands. 7,000?
Wild
if it was like
conspiracy
7
theory
islands,
claims China has a new land full of dinosaurs.
Is this a Jurassic Park remake?
No.
7,000 islands? If it was like 7 or like even 70, like even 70 islands is like, wow, that's like a lot of islands. But like 7,000 islands?
I can't find a credible source.
That is very suspicious. The amount of islands.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be
maybe
suspicious.
7 islands? 7 new islands?
Maybe,
cool.
Maybe
There's
they're
not.
little.
No. 7,000. 7,000 6,000?
I don't know. That's just what it said.
Like, think of Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not big islands. Those are small islands. And there's like, what, 6 Hawaiian islands?
Well, the
Someone
point
correct
is
me
that
if
they
I'm
were
wrong.
keeping it a secret.
But like that 7,000, if that number is right, that is a lot of islands.
Yeah.
To like keep a secret. Like, people are going to know about that. That's a lot of islands.
Yeah, I think you're right. Mm-hmm.
That one's very suspicious. And I don't believe it, but I hope aliens and Sasquatch are real.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say.
Same. I think that I'm done.
Cool. Let us know what your conspiracy theories are. We'd love to hear them. I'd love to go out. I would love to go down a rabbit hole on all the conspiracy theories.
For sure.
I will go down a Google rabbit hole. Like, I will dive in head first into all these.
Definitely find everything out on Google too.
There's a lot of things you can find out on Google.
Yeah, you're right. So
you never know.
That's all, folks, for this episode. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. We're going to try our best to get you a new podcast out the next few weeks, but we are busy. We're actually traveling separately the next couple weeks. So stand by on that, and we'll do our best to accommodate because we love this. I think this is fun. It's basically like date night. It's the first time I've had you alone in weeks.
Weeks?
Besides last week when we recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Love you.
Love you.
Okay. Thank you for listening to the Happy Everly After podcast. Share us with your friends and family, please. And we have some serious episodes at the beginning of our podcast. So if you want to like listen to our more serious side, then those are cool.
It's like beating a dead horse, though.
Yeah.
It's like people know that about us, you know?
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Lately, I've like Everly's page has blown up. And I'm like, they don't even know that we've been trying to adopt for years. And they don't even know that we hired a surrogate, that it failed twice. And they don't even know that Everly died of heart problems. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just never know. Anyways,
sure.
I'm an open book. We share it all. So anyways, thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week.
Adios, amigos. See you, suckers. From Van.
Van says
adios, suckers.
Van says adios, suckers. And we're like, and his cute little Latina
adios, suckers.
teachers. He's in a dual immersion school. And his cute little Mexican teacher is like, I didn't teach him that. And we're like, we know you didn't teach him that.
That was urban.
Urban time. Adios, suckers.